You're listening to Bush Radio. Bush Radio.
Your real talk radio.
State Affairs with Edmund Obilo is live. Stay tuned.
After Bako had been killed, Buhari was made head of state. He would have been the head of state because he was the leader of the coup. He was the most senior. Was one who went to actually to accost Shagari and to arrest him. So Bako was killed. If Bako had not been killed, Bako probably would have been the head of state. And then they had a compromise candidacy in Buhari. And I think, if my recollection is correct, it was at that point in time planned or arranged that certain characters will take over from Bako after 4 years, another will take over from that person, another will take over from that person, and that if Christians made the noise, then the Christian, like Dogonjaro, would take over in the 14th year or 12th year to run to 16th year.
Let me get it clear.
Yes.
Was it that Buhari was going to rule for 4 years, then Babagida 4 years, and then Abacha 4 years?
Yes, something like that.
And you knew that Buhari was going to be overthrown?
Not that I knew. These things are not documented. I could have known. I wasn't a military guy. I wasn't in the military.
You remember you were at a polytechnic in Abeokuta?
Yes, I was there.
What did you say there?
I was a guest speaker, and because of the noise being made here and there, and I quote myself that, ladies and gentlemen, that you shouldn't be surprised if you hear again, I Brigadier Sani Abacha.
What were you trying to tell the students?
That probably we have not come to the full stop, that what we had was just a comma, and that another military personnel could intervene and overthrow Buhari at that point in time.
Chief Adeniyi, you were an instrument in the hands of some members of the political class and the military to overthrow General Muhammadu Buhari.
No, I wasn't an instrument. I couldn't have been an instrument. How could I have been an instrument? I was just a common, simple journalist with a lot of political fervor, journalist with a lot of activism, but I couldn't have been an instrument.
Remember, the pen is mightier than the sword.
Yes, so if it was the pen, yes, my pen could campaign for overthrow of a government. My pen could campaign, could initiate or engineer a revolt, but not that I was instrument in the hands of any political class. I couldn't have been.
Did you write against Buhari?
Incidentally, no. I mean, I was a columnist in Punch. Even when he detained my friend Al-Rashid Aruna Damu and another friend, I could only appeal to him. And I didn't support Decree 4 at that time, but I was not particularly antagonistic to Buhari, even when he was head of state. I cannot recollect any of my articles in Punch then when I was a columnist, openly or blatantly attacking Buhari.
You are an acidic writer.
Yes, I've always been.
Why didn't you attack Buhari?
When he took over, Nigeria was disenchanted with the NPN government. And I was disenchanted with the NPN government. And I gave that party and the political class at that point in time hell in the kind of things I was writing in Tribune, especially my column Till Death Do Us Part, 6 columns a week on that title with other 2 other columns I was writing, 8 columns every week, attacking MPN and being very acidic, as to use your word. So when Buhari then took over, we thought that things were going to be normalized and that a new phase of life was coming up, and Nigeria had a new lease of life. So I did not do anything. I wrote all the time. He was head of state. 84, 85. I was a columnist in Punch.
But how come you were not angry? In 1979, you worked with the UPN.
I worked with the Tribune.
But you were the UPN for some time.
That was in 78, yes. I worked with UPN in 78.
Okay, in 78,
yes, when I
not 79.
No, 78.
So you were part of the publicity network of the party at the time.
I was deputy or special assistant to Chief MC Kajiluchuku, my boss.
And I can we say, when Buhari took over, he arrested some of the governors of the UPN.
Yes, he did.
Governors you had sympathy for.
Certainly.
And these governors wanted Buhari out, right?
They did, yes.
Why did they want Buhari out? The Bolaiges?
They were fed up with what they considered to be injustice. They thought that if MPN was the failure of MPN was the trigger for the overthrow of the MPN government, official government, why should the UPN also be, rough-handled? And so they certainly didn't feel comfortable with Buhari as head of state.
Did they reach out to you?
I wouldn't know. I mean, I visited them. I visited some of them in prison.
What did they tell you?
What they told me was that they are not happy. And if you are in their shoes, you would also have told me the same.
They wanted Buhari out?
Even if they wanted Buhari out, which they didn't hide, I would have been able to influence that. I would have been able to effect that.
You have the pen. And you had the connection.
I had connections.
Your friends were in the military.
Yes, they were.
Abacha was your friend. Babagida was your friend.
Yes.
So, did you take any message to Babagida and Abacha?
I don't think I will answer that question. I don't think... I wouldn't know. I certainly wouldn't answer whether I took a message. Nobody sent me on an errand to Babangida.
Remember, you knew that Buhari was going to be overthrown.
I suspected, given the sixth sense, given my experience, that it was not likely to last.
And you knew IBB was going to be the next head of state, right?
I didn't know who was going to be head of state, but I knew that among those left after Bako had been killed and after Buhari had taken over, the next most obvious person to succeed him would have been Babangida.
Bush Radio.
Bush Radio. Bush Radio.
Bush Radio.
Your real talk radio.